Good evening, and good afternoon, y'all. Welcome to God First Christ Gang Media News. Welcome to God First Christ Gang Media News. I'm your host, Brian Taylor Bridges. Welcome to God First Christ Gang Media News, y'all. Come on in for a brief moment. Got a story for y'all tonight out of Houston, Texas, you all. The home of the Texans, y'all. Anyway, you all, I just want to kind of talk about tonight, this younger generation and how they really have no respect for the elderly, you all. Like I said, this is a very sad case, and where a 72-year-old grandmother was found barricaded in her bedroom. I said that the 72-year-old grandmother was found barricaded in her bedroom as her 19-year-old grandson beat the brakes off of his grandmother, you all. The young man is now arrested and charged with a $5,000 bond. I want to come over and kind of read a few things about this particular case and talk about these kids, you all, because they don't seem to have the same type of respect as we once did, as we did when we was coming up for our parents and our elders and things of that nature, you all. So people who may or may not know me, I am from Texas. We are from the South. So we was kind of raised in a different manner and dialect, you all. We was raised to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and things of this nature. From people that live up north, they would come down here and kind of say that this is some kind of slave term, you all, but this is nothing of such a thing, you all. To say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, to your elders is a form of respect. It's a form of high respect down here, you all, and respect will bring you a long, long ways. I said that respect will carry you a long ways in life, you all. Like I said, I don't know what's particularly going on with these young men, might I say, you all, because and we have to take responsibility as men, as older men, being parents and good fathers and things of this nature, you all. We have to kind of step up, man, because these kids are absolutely going wild. We had a young kid in Virginia, 6 years old, who absolutely shot his teacher 2 times. I said young man at 6 years old shot his teacher 2 times. But this story is not about this 6-year-old kid. It's about this 19-year-old kid who, like I said, man, put his hands on his grandmother, man. This is nothing that's ever acceptable. I said this is something that's not ever acceptable, you all. Man, if you happen to see anybody taking advantage of an elderly person, maybe abusing them, maybe taking their money, you all. And like I said, man, this is a crazy situation, man, because his grandmother absolutely have a nice home. She opened her door for her grandson, to kind of come and stay with her, kind of come help her when he could, you all. And like I said, man, this is far, far beyond the normal, you all. Like I said, man, this is a very sad case and very disturbing to me, you all, because I absolutely love my grandmother, who is not alive today, you all. None of my grandmothers are actually living, you all. I was raised with two, might I say, two very, very they was very involved in my life. My grandmother is a very beautiful thing. It's such an honor to have a grandmother, and I'm pretty sure when this lady passed, man, this boy is not gonna know what to do. I don't know where he's gonna actually go when he get out of jail, but I hope that he learned a very valuable lesson with this, you all. In fact, I hope some of them dudes in downtown Houston absolutely see him see these type of things on the news, and I hope they give him a little justice of his own. You all, I said that I really hope the young man learn uh, uh, a better lesson. You all, might I say? Like I said, I just wanted to come on here, and if you are absolutely joining me for the first time, I do always put a link in the description. I put a link in the description so that people may follow along with me as I read these particular news articles. You all. So again, I do have the news article and the news clip, and I'm going to share it with everyone. But before I do, copyright claim under Title 17 USC Sections 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute and might otherwise be infringed. Non-profit, education, and personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. It tips to balance in favor of fair use, you all. So if you joining me for your first time here over on TikTok, thank you for joining me. You are welcome to come and join me at Brian Bridges on YouTube. It's spelled just like I spell my name on TikTok, you all. So you all are able to kind of catch up with me if you choose to on YouTube. So thank you for joining me on TikTok. But here we go. It says 72-year-old grandmother found barricaded in her bedroom. Police say grandson now charged with elderly abuse. The grandson is now charged with elderly abuse. What's so crazy to me about this particular case, you all, is that the young man fought his grandmother like a man. This is very, very disturbing to me that he would actually do something like this, you all. Like I said, man, it's a very, very sad situation, because when the police finally pulled up, they was able to see blood on this young man's hands, So he was in there fighting his grandmother like a man, like a dude off the street, or fighting his grandmother in a manner that's unbecoming to a young man. And then from what I'm understanding, 70% of these elderly abuse cases are actually family members, you all. And like I said, coming up as a young man in my neighborhood, I didn't come up with the very best of everything. We wasn't no upper echelon, we was kind of hood and a regular type of family, you all. But you know, I would have never put my hands on my grandmother to fight my grandmother about anything, let alone to be out there trying to fight her like a man. Like I said, man, this is a disgusting and sad thing to even see, you all, to even actually just talk about this. But like I said, some of them young men down there do actually watch the news, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna want to see him, you all. So anyway, deputies say when they arrived at the home, they found the 19-year-old grandson with blood on his knuckles, you all. So it said the Houston Precinct 2 constable officers arrested the 19-year-old man in what deputies are calling a horrific case of elderly abuse. A horrific case of elderly abuse, you all. It said the teen, who authorities identify as Nicholas Leon McKinney, is accused of severely injuring his 72-year-old grandmother. It said McKinley is now facing felony charges of injury to the elderly, you all. They could see she was visibly injured and severely trauma to her head, said Precinct 2 Constable Jerry Garcia. Excuse me, you all. It said Garcia said McKinney was living with his grandmother at her Southeast home, Houston home, and just before 11 p.m. on January the 3rd, he texted his grandmother to report. He texted his mother to report an emergency at the house, you all. So it said McKinney reportedly gave a non specifics, and when neither he nor his grandmother answered the repeated phone calls. The teen's mother dialed 911 for a welfare check. It said Garcia said when the deputy constables arrived at the home, they found McKinney with blood on his knuckles. He didn't say anything other than he didn't mean to do it, you all. So, like I said, I do have some more to read, but I kind of want to talk about that because, man, he's saying that he didn't mean to do this and he didn't mean to do this. And like I said, this young man have never been in trouble before, things of this nature. But when it comes to respecting your grandparents, if you are a young man out there, man, have respect for your grandmothers, have respect for your grandfathers, because this will add to your life. I said this will actually add to your life, you all. Like I said, it's a high thing in the kingdom of God. It's just a high thing to have respect for elderly people, period. And don't get me wrong, because grandparents not always right. They don't always make the right decisions. They don't always say the right things. But we as children, you all, are supposed to respect them, and even when they're wrong, they are actually right. We are supposed to be humble enough to accept the things that they are saying. And if they are saying the wrong things, just move around, find you a location to be, because she has absolutely lived her life and was trying to help you within your life, so this is a very, like I say, very bad thing and totally inexcusable. I said it is totally inexcusable, and I hope, God forgive me. I hope somebody beat the brakes out for you, so you can actually understand what it's like to be taken advantage of, because how can you, as a man, as a young man, swing on a 72-year-old woman, you all? Like I said, man, this is something that's very upsetting to me. It's a whole lot of other things that I would actually like to say that I'm actually not saying, you all, because I don't think that I have to be vulgar, and like a lot of these other YouTube bloggers, they just cuss at will, to actually express themselves. And a lot of people down with that, but I don't feel like I should speak curses and blessings out the same mouth, you all. So I try to do my best to, refrain from vulgar language and things of this nature, you all. But it says he didn't say anything other than he didn't mean to hurt her, And like I said, when the police come in there and they find this lady barricaded in her bedroom, you all, she had to be literally petrified. I said the woman had to be literally petrified. And not only did they find her barricaded in her bedroom with her dressers and things of this nature pushed up against the door, so her grandson couldn't get in to hurt her. This how afraid this woman was in her own home. I don't feel like nobody in the world should absolutely be afraid in their own household, you all, and especially when you trying to help somebody else. Like I said, he could have been somewhere with his father, he could have been somewhere with his mother, but he was at his grandmother's house. So why would you, as a young man or any man, whether you're a man, woman, a girl, or both, never put your hands on your grandparents, you all? Like I said, man, you're gonna reap what you sow. Like I said, man, this is a very, very sad thing to me. It said Garcia said the deputy constable found McKinney's grandmother barricaded in her bedroom. She had barricaded herself with a dresser up against the door. Garcia said the woman was too stunned to give a statement and remains in the hospital after undergoing surgery. So not only did he swung on his grandmother, but he beat her so bad that she had to get some form of a surgery, to maybe stop the bleeding. I don't know what it was actually, over. Maybe she had to get some stitches and things of this nature. But it's no way that a young man should ever put his hands on his grandmother, you all. So, like I said, man, I just wanted to kind of come in and go in on it. It said Garcia had no further details of her condition. He had added that it is not clear why the woman was attacked, but there is no indications of prior violence between McKinley and his grandmother. It said the 19-year-old has no criminal history. Court records show McKinley was granted a $5,000 bond, but he remains in the county jail as of Thursday evening. It said elderly abuse is the fastest growing crime in the United States. Elderly abuse. You know, people running up on the elders, you know, they a week, you know, these are actually predators, you all. When you run up on some elderly people, when you out there robbing and jacking elderly people, and things of this nature, you know, this is something that I could never stand for as a young man. I have never seen none of my friends fight on their grandparents or nobody in my circle. You know, praise God for this, because you all, I'm not the most holiest person, and I wasn't raised with no silver spoon in my mouth. We were some hood cats, you know, and gang banging and all that. We did all that as young men coming up, but never one time did we think to put our hands on our grandparents and things of this nature, you all. You know, I wish that any one of my grandparents was living today, whether it be my grandfather or my grandmother. But man, I absolutely love my grandmother and would have done anything in this world to actually see her, you all. Like I said, this one was a hard one for me because I was in Florida when my grandmother passed, you all, and man, we had called the police and things of this nature because I was under probation, you all, in which I had a monitor on my leg, and these people would not let me go to my grandmother's funeral. So, you know, that really bothered me. You know, not even we had also paid for security and things of this nature, and you know had was trying to get it approved so I could fly down and fly back. And at the time, again, I had a monitor on, and these people would not let me go, you all. So, like I said, man, I really miss my grandmother, and I wish I had not even really saw this story, you all, but I really want to come and share this with you all. So it said elderly abuse is the fastest growing crime in the United States, you all. Elderly abuse, you know. So again, man, if you can call the adult protection service if you think that you know somebody that's actually harming one of these elderly people, you all. Call the adult protection services on these people. There's another thing in here what I'm gonna read to you all in just shortly. It said elderly abuse again is the fastest growing crime in the United States, and Jackie Patello, principal program coordinator of the Houston-Galveston Area Council Elder Justice Program, you all. So there is also an elderly justice program in which these people are trying to help these elderly victims who have actually been assaulted, who have actually been robbed and taken advantage of, you all. So this is an elderly program to kind of help them maintain their own independence. I said this is a program to actually help them maintain their own independence. It says in our own caseload, roughly 70% of the predatory of the abuse are family members. So 70% of these elderly people that's taking advantage of, beating, you know, and things of this nature. I don't know if the young man was trying to get, her money, or, he might possibly wanted some money from his grandmother or some of this nature, and she may not have had it, or she may have given him enough of money or something, you all. But this young man was trying to say that he actually did it because they had a disagreement. I wish you would put your hands on your grandmother or my grandmother or anybody's grandmother behind a disagreement. This is one thing that should never be done, you all. So again, I hope the young man learned a lesson, a swift lesson, might I say, in this particular case, you all. So it said in our own caseload, roughly 70% of the predatory abuse are from family members. It said Patello said that there is help for elderly victims through the Elderly Justice Program. Everything from navigating the criminal justice system to ensuring future safety, you all. It says we can help the seniors ensure these kinds of violent episodes aren't what cost them their independence, said Paterno. And if anyone knows somebody that's an elderly that need help, the Elderly Justice Program is 346. That's 346 500 4620. That's 346 500 4620. And there is, I wish I would have added the link for the 1-800 number, because there is a 1-800 number for people. It's called the Adult Protective Services, you all. So again, that's the Adult Protective Services for people who may need to kind of look this particular thing up. Like I said, man, I didn't really want to hold too long on it, and I almost got real emotional thinking about my grandmother, you all. Like I said, this is something that I would not have never done as a child. I don't care if she would have, and my grandmother I thought my grandmother was the strongest lady in the world, you all. I promise I did. My grandmother was such a sweet woman, but she did believe in discipline. She would whoop us, and I was thankful for those whoopings that she had actually given me, you all, because I was a little bad little boy. And man, we used to go. I remember one time, my grandmother had bought me a Christmas sweater, you all. It was a nice little sweater, and she was telling us not to go in these certain areas. It was the woods, and we had the hills on the woods. We used to go back there and play in different things of this nature. And I had went back there and told my little sweater on one of them tree branches. And she told my little tail up. I even went back there. She told us to stay from back there. Stay from back there, you all. And, don't go back there because bad things happen to kids back there, so forth and so on. And we went back there again anyway. And I had stepped on a nail, and this nail went straight through my tennis shoe and all the way in my foot, And my homies, my little friends, my little peers at this particular time had carried me home and things of this nature. And she whooped my tail all over that house, you all. I ain't lying. I had blood everywhere, up and down the walls, all up under the bed. She would I would slide up under the bed. She would pick the bed up with one hand and be swagging me. But after she whooped me and disciplined me for disobeying her, you all, she put a little piece of bacon on there. She rolled some bacon up and put it on my feet. They was, I don't know, that was some old school stuff. They had them old school remnants, them grandparents and things of this nature. So she would wrap my foot up in some bacon and said that it would, help with the infection, things of this nature, you all. Because again, I had a rusty nail in my foot. So, we were some bad little kids, man. But like I said, man, she was good. She had patched me up, fed me and everything, you all, and hugged me and kissed me. She was, like I said, a sweet lady. But she did believe in discipline, So again, I wanted to come on and kind of talk about these, these kids, man. And, again, we as men, we have to do better. We have to talk to these kids and young men. I have to get on my son every now and then about respecting his grandmother, and I need to do it a little more often, before that go somewhere that it's not actually supposed to go. You all, again, I didn't want to hold everybody too long. I hope everybody had an awesome and blessed weekend, and I see you all again tomorrow. Go first Christ gang. Peace, blessings, y'all. Good night. Thank you for joining me, y'all. Thank you. Thank you.